This is an Android phone, but right now, it's running on full Windows 11 operating system for real. And this is not a launcher, not a remote desktop, or it's not even a third-party Windows emulator. But this is the actual Windows operating system running directly on this phone's hardware. Yes, you heard it right. And in today's video, I'll show you how to install Windows on your Android device using Renegade Project, which allows Windows for ARM to boot run on supported devices, and even we can set it up in dual boot mode. The cool part is that this phone only has 64 GB of internal storage, and I managed to run both Windows and Android on it. The process is a bit complicated, but I'll guide you through it step by step. So without further ado, let's dive in. And for this setup, the phone I'm using here is the Redmi Note 9 Pro or 9S, which is almost a 5-year-old Android device. I mean, you can still install the latest custom ROMs and make it a usable phone. But even now, it's still a pretty decent device. And this phone comes with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of UFS 2.1 storage. So these are the main specs of the device. Anyway, to get started, the first thing we need to do is unlock the bootloader. Since this phone is running MIUI, and many people have already made detailed videos on how to unlock its bootloader, or based on whichever brand you're using, I'll quickly go through the basic steps. Make sure the phone is logged in with your Xiaomi account. Now we need to enable developer options. Just simply go to About Phone and tap on the MIUI version multiple times until developer mode is enabled. Alright, scroll down and open additional settings. Then go to developer options. Here, enable OEM unlocking, which allows the bootloader to be unlocked. And next here, open My Unlock status. You need to add your current Xiaomi account and link this device for bootloader unlocking. Make sure to use mobile data with a SIM card, not Wi-Fi, while adding the account. Once you tap Add Account and Device, your MI account will be successfully linked to this phone. After that, enable USB debugging. Also enable the Install via USB option. That's it. And after that, you need to follow a few more steps. First, make sure to back up all your important data and files, because this process will completely format the device. Next, connect your phone to your PC and unlock the bootloader using the MI Flash Unlock tool. There are many tutorials available on YouTube that show how to do this step by step. In my case, the phone is already unlocked, and you can see the unlock status here. For first-time users, it may take a couple of days or even up to a week to unlock the device using the official My Flash Unlock tool. And once the bootloader is unlocked, you're free to do whatever you want, like installing custom ROMs, rooting, or other modifications. Now coming to the main part, it starts from here. Now it's going to be more complicated further. And this is the Renegade Project. This is a mod that enables users to install Windows 11 on selected Qualcomm Snapdragon-powered smartphones. It simplifies the process of booting ARM64 builds of Windows 11 or Windows 10 on various Android devices, allowing a mobile experience traditionally reserved for computers. This project leverages UEFI firmware to provide users with the full power of Windows 11 on their smartphones. But this is only for limited supported devices. You can run the Windows ARM build on these devices, starting from the old Snapdragon 835 like on the Pixel 2. Snapdragon 855 also works. This also runs on some old Microsoft Lumia 950, Surface Duo, OnePlus devices, Samsung A52s, and finally on Xiaomi devices. And here is our Redmi Note 9 Pro. It works on most of the Note 9 Pro Myotal family. The good part is that it even supports 10-year-old Snapdragon devices, which is pretty cool. Now let's go to our device overview. You can also see the support status and the main supported features like UFS, SD card, and others. The things assigned with Y are the ones that work on this device, and N means no support. Now let's go to the official guide. And there we go. These are the supported Redmi Note 9 Pro models with the same chip. Also, this process is riskier, to be honest. Things might get bricked if you don't follow this guide properly. Well, everything here is experimental, just to see how well these phones handle Windows on ARM. So this is not meant for regular use. Still, I don't recommend using it or trying it for daily use. Here we have some files like the STA file. As I said, we will be able to create dual boot between both operating systems, Windows and Android. This will be used in the final part. This is the modified Orange Fox recovery image file. And here I have already downloaded the required files for this setup. I'll show you further in each step, as they have already provided a detailed guide to install Windows on the phone. For the first step, we need the recovery image to install on the phone and the Android platform tools. Simply download the SDK Platform Tools for Windows. After downloading, extract the Platform Tools folder. Now, open Command Prompt in this SDK folder path. Or you can use the CD command to navigate to the path where you copied the SDK files. Now we need to boot this phone into fast boot mode. So, power off the device. Now press and hold the volume down and power keys to boot into fast boot mode. Then connect the phone to the PC via USB. Alright, now here type fast boot devices to make sure it is recognized. Alright, so here it's connected. Now we need to flash the Orange Fox mod recovery onto this phone. There are two versions here. We can use this version. Here I have already copied it to the same path as the SDK. So simply enter the command, fast boot flash recovery. So copy this image file name, .image, and enter. Alright, it's done. Now we need to reboot the phone into recovery mode. So type, fast boot reboot recovery. Now the phone will start booting into Orange Fox recovery mode. Here the phone will create boot loop multiple times to load into recovery. And alright, it's loaded. We are on the interface. Now the next step is to root this device. So simply I'll copy the root installer file to the phone's storage. Please do follow the guide as well. Now on the phone, go to the path where the file is copied and flash the Magisk root installer to make the device rooted. Then wipe the cache and reboot the system. And there we go. Now let's check the phone. Alright, the phone has been successfully rooted. Now we need to install Magisk on this device. So go to the file manager, again, rename the installer zip file to APK, and install it as a package. So install it as an update, because the main root core is already installed. Alright, now we are done here. If you want, you can also run additional setup for advanced root permissions, but we will do that later. For now, it works normally for super user permissions, and you can see the logs here. Now the first part is successfully done. Next, we need to create the partitions on this device. I mean the storage partitions assigned for both Windows and the existing Android. So again, turn off the phone and boot the device into recovery via fast boot mode. Here we have two methods. One is the manual method, and the other one is automatic partition. So let's go with the automatic partition. The manual method is more complicated and also risky. For the automatic method, we just need to run ADB shell and create partitions. It will be easier. Also keep in mind, the phone will be formatted once again after creating partitions for separate systems. Sometimes the recovery on the phone may freeze. If that happens, try rebooting the device into recovery mode so that it gets detected again on the PC. So let's load the command prompt again in the SDK path. Make sure the device state is active in recovery mode and MTP is also enabled. Run ADB shell partition. Enter the same command. Now repeat the partition process. Again, run the script. Alright, and there we go. Now it worked. Now enter the Windows size. In my case, the phone has a total of 64 GB. Out of that, we have around 42 GB available to assign. Let's try with 40 GB first. You can see the space used by each OS. Let's proceed with Y for yes. If you are not sure, you can enter the value again. As you can see, if the value exceeds the available space, it shows an error message. So let's run the partition again. I think 30 GB is the best balanced size for both systems. If you are using a 128 GB device, you can choose around 60 GB. Alright, and there we go. It's successful. Now exit the ADB shell. Let's reboot the phone to check whether it's working or not. The phone will be completely formatted again due to the storage partition changes. Now let's check once again. And there we go. Now the Android storage is reduced to around 32 GB. Still, about 15 GB of free space is available, which is good. Now again, as usual, reboot back into recovery via fastboot. Now we are finally at the main step. We need to install Windows and the required drivers. Now we need to assign values to the partitions in this step. Again, we need to run the MSC script. Type ADB shell MSC. Now repeat the script. As you can see, the main OS partition is detected as a separate partition. Next, type disk part. We need to assign letters to the volumes of the device. Type list volume. This will display all the volumes. Here you can see the main OS volume and the EFI ESP volume. Now we need to select these volumes and assign with different letters. So I'll assign the main OS volume with the letter W and the EFI volume with the letter V. Also make sure to remember these assigned letters for the next steps during a Windows installation. Once done, exit disk part. Open command prompt and run it as administrator. Again, make sure the device is active in recovery mode. Now we need to apply the Windows ESD image, as shown in the guide. Use the command and assign the path where you copied the Windows ESD file. Also make sure to use the correct drive letters that we assigned earlier. Alright, now the process has started. And there we go, it's done. The Windows system image has been successfully flashed to the main OS. As mentioned, now we need to install the device drivers and the phone's UEFI files. Simply extract the drivers into a folder and run the offline updater script. Alright, now the device drivers have been installed. Next, we need to create the Windows bootloader files in the EFI partition. Open command prompt again and run it as administrator. Now use the command to create the UEFI boot files. In my case, the main OS is drive W and the EFI partition is drive V. This will allow the EFI to boot Windows from the main OS partition by address. Alright, the boot files have been successfully created. Now exit and run ADB reboot to reboot the device. So, the main installation part is successfully completed. Now from here, the remaining setup is a bit easier. We need to set up dual boot between Android and Windows. This setup will be done on Android by installing the M3K helper and the ST file on Windows. These act as a bridge between the two operating systems. So simply I'll copy these files to the phone's storage. So now on the phone, install the M3K helper package. This will allow you to reboot directly into Windows 11. Next, let's create a separate UEFI folder in the internal storage. And copy the phone's UEFI image file into this folder. We are done. Now open the M3K helper and grant root permission. Alright, and there we go. So here it displays the Windows boot EFI. Now tap boot into Windows. Since the UEFI is already set up, the device will now boot into Windows. For the first time, it may take a few minutes, just like a regular Windows setup on a PC. And there we go finally. You can see the boot process has started. Let's fast forward this part. And, alright, finally, we're almost done. Now complete the Windows setup as usual like we do on PCs. Yes, still even the Wi-Fi is working. The touchscreen also working fine. I'll also disable some unnecessary background features, because this device has only 4 GB of RAM, and those services will affect the performance. Alright, it will take a few more minutes. And there we go. Windows 11 has successfully booted on this Android device running on ARM64. This is a custom Windows 11 ARM64 build ported for these devices. Let's check the Wi-Fi. It's working as normal, by the way. Brightness control is also working properly. That means the drivers we installed during the process are working for input and system controls, as mentioned on the project page. Even the sound is working perfectly fine. Yes, the audio drivers too. Let's check the About section. As you can see, it shows the processor as Snapdragon 7C, along with the CPU clock speed and the installed RAM on this phone. Let's also open Task Manager. Alright, go to Processes. You can see the CPU usage here. It's pretty much normal in usage here. But the RAM usage is almost full. Only around 1.2 GB is available. If we open anything else, it will fill up quickly. Now about the internal storages. The phone's UFS storage is manufactured by Micron here, and the GPU is detected as Adreno 618. Maybe some things might work. I'm not sure if it can run DirectX-based titles directly on this port. About 3 years ago, I tested this project on the OnePlus 6, which is more powerful with the Snapdragon 845, and it was able to run some DirectX 9 and 10 games. I also tried this earlier on my Poco X3 Pro with Windows 10, but later the phone died due to some serious issues. Alright, now let's check the number of logical cores in here. As expected, there are 8 cores, with 2 performance cores and the rest efficiency cores. The L3 cache looks fine. There's no virtualization support. Now let's try with some applications. For like the Edge browser. Let's open YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Now you can see the memory usage. It's almost full. Even today, 8 GB RAM feels limited for Windows, so running it on 4 GB is definitely not ideal. Got something really interesting for you guys. We're taking a look at the... Well, I'll talk about it later. Still, it's working because I disabled some AI background services and junk during setup. There are no stutters or lag, which means video decoding is working properly. Also, this is a custom Windows port, so some optimizations have been done. I'm not sure how well very old devices will run this Windows ARM version, but on this phone it's running smoothly without major issues. Now, let's try installing an application like CPU-Z, which you all already know. As you can see, the device details are shown here. Again, it's detected as Snapdragon 7C. You can see the model information, ARM64 architecture, version revision, motherboard as Redmi, BIOS version, memory, and graphics as well. Still, this device components are not detected properly due to the drivers are not fully optimized. You can also see the CPU bench. It's pushing up really low. And now let's check out whether USB mass storage is working. Well, no, this was already mentioned earlier as not supported. So these are the main working features. Yes, you can still use it for basic tasks. I'll test it further later for things like gaming or other software. Normal applications should work, but I'm not sure about DirectX-based visual applications. Now, to switch back to Android. As mentioned earlier, we need the SDK Windows file to boot back into the Android system. Simply run this application. The system will restart into the main Android MIUI OS. So basically, M3K Helper is used to boot into Windows, and SDK is used to boot back into Android. Alright, and there we go. Amazing, right? Hope you really enjoyed this. Maybe using a lightweight ROM like pixel-based ROM could save more space, but overall this setup is still good. Windows is currently using around 18 GB out of the 30 GB allocated, which is still fine for this device. So yeah, this is Windows 11 running on an Android phone with dual boot support. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And do let me know in the comments what phone you're using. Also, have you tried running Windows like this on your phone before? And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.